Welcome to Third Tuesday Conversation, the ELCA Youth Ministry Network's monthly podcast. Our goal is to engage in conversations affirming that youth ministry looks a million different ways, in a million different places, and with a million different experiences. Hey, everybody. My name is Veronica Brito, and I'm coming to you from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. However, wait a minute. We're actually at the Extravaganza. We're looking back. We're thinking back to our time in St. Louis, and we're going to bring you something really cool today. So who else is in the building at this time?
Alex LaChapelle here from Marquette, Michigan, the Upper Peninsula. Had a great Extravaganza.
And this is Jessica Noonan from the Houston, Texas area. And yeah, looking forward to getting into this.
And now I would like to welcome up to the stage Jessica and Alex of the 3TC podcast. Come on up. And Joseph, come on up.
Welcome to the Third Tuesday Conversation, the ELCA Youth Ministry Network's monthly podcast. Our goal is to engage in conversations affirming that youth ministry looks a million different ways in a million different places with a million different experiences. My name is Alex LaChapelle. I'm a pastor in Marquette, Michigan in the Upper Peninsula. I work at Prince of Peace. I also do quarter-time campus ministry at Northern Michigan University. We are called the 3TC podcast, Third Tuesday podcast, but sometimes the three for us means the three of us chatting. The three of us, no, there's only two of us. We are talking about Veronica Brito. She is unfortunately a little under the weather, so we send her love, but we want to make sure you know about her representation, that she is a librarian by day, a podcaster with us in the evening, sometimes in Philly.
Hey, yes.
So...
Hello, everybody. I'm Jessica Noonan, and I am a deacon in the ELCA, so shout out to our deacons. That was rude. You could be louder than that, but that's okay. It's okay. I see you. No, it's okay. It's all good. So my day job, I serve as the executive director at Lead Connects. We're based in Houston. We're a nonprofit that works with churches and church leaders with judicatories. And all of our work is around how do we connect with each other and connect with our neighbors, following the ways of Jesus. So that's my day job. My night job is to do our podcast once a month in my pajamas. So this is a whole new thing. I have makeup on and we're in real clothes and y'all are watching us. So, and we can't forget the fourth person who's part of the 3TC podcast is Pastor Paul Amlin, who's in Florida, and he's our producer, and he makes all of the crazy things that we record make sense. So we want to shout out to him as well.
So you are at a podcast, you're in a podcast, you are part of the podcast here and now for the month of February. And for me, the reason that I think this is special, this is awesome, this morning I was sitting in the lobby doing some reading and I already was giving some hugs goodbye. And I think that is the hardest part of this, is when we gather and we do all these amazing things, we sing all these amazing songs, we hear all these amazing speakers, and then we go home, we go back to our spaces. And like we heard, like some of us are going back to Minnesota, or some of us are going back to Marquette, Michigan. It's very, very cold. Some of us are going back to, I've got tons of people around me to support me, and some of us are going back to, and I'm back at it all by myself. And I think for me, one of the hopes of this podcast is that today we can create something that in a couple weeks when it comes out, it'll remind you of everything that we're a part of. Tim Foreman said something about wanting to find a message in a bottle. And I think that this might be our opportunity to give ourselves a message in the bottle to come back to in a couple weeks and go, oh, that's right. I'm not alone. I'm not by myself. I have a million friends and we do these things so differently, and yet the connector is that Holy Spirit. The connector is that God says, I'm in this with each and every one of you. So that's why we didn't want to do this just the two of us or three of us, but more than that, we're excited to have Joseph and Anna with us to kind of be the lights that let us know how this experience has been for you.
All right. Well, we're going to kick this off, you guys, and I'm excited because I'm always wondering when folks come to things like this, right? And you guys are first-timers at the E. And how many first-timers do we still have here? Yes. So, right, at one point, we were all first-timers. I was just talking with someone the other day that I didn't go to the first E, but I went to the second E in Dallas, which was 19-something. And we won't say when. Huh?
Boo Dallas.
Boo Dallas. Well, yeah, we live in Houston, so it's the coolest place. But I'm wondering for you guys, in the midst of all the things that you got to do and people you got to talk to and the things you heard and saw, where did you see the movement of the Holy Spirit?
Me. I'm one of the people that is going to leave here and I'm on my own again, kind of thing, because all of my work is just me out there in the community, so it's really fun for me to get to be with people. That sounds so pitiful, but it's nice to be with people, and it's nice to be with nice people. And so I was thinking about this question earlier. When I was working in the church, I was writing curriculum for our program, and one of my favorite lessons, a series of lessons that I ever wrote, was God is like. And so it was a 4-week series of all these different analogies for God. We did God is like a mother, God is like a father. But the one that stuck with the kids the most was God is like a web that connects us all. And the kids understood it because they're so connected to nature and they can see. It's such a great visual. But so anyway, I say all that to say, I think where I saw Spirit, God, the most here was just in this little connection, not just among all of you and even me getting to be part of the web, which was really cool, but there were also some thematic things that became connected together. I knew that I wanted to do my play talk on the idea of play being where we imagine new worlds. Your theme for the Extravaganza next year is imagine more. The guys that were doing the lament talked about imagining a new world. There were all these really cool, and I didn't know any of that was happening before I showed up here. So even in that little connective web, it was really cool to see all of that come together. And that is one of the most beautiful visuals I can think of God and Spirit.
I love it. And that's such a great image for just the network itself.
Right.
And right. I mean, this is, I don't actively do youth ministry in a congregation. I'm still kind of connected in these kind of little ways. But this is my favorite weekend of the year. And I almost didn't get to come, which is a whole other story. So 2 weeks ago, I was like, hey, Todd, I can still come. Will you let me come still? He's like, of course, go and log on to Agencia. So yeah. And because of that, right? I mean, these are my people still, and I work out of my house. So, right, seeing live people other than my children who are standing behind me while I'm teaching on Zoom, and I'm like, go away. But no, not really. Usually that's just my dog that wants to come and talk to everybody on Zoom. Yeah. But yeah, it's all these connections. I totally missed the Saturday morning session because I was talking with someone who I love dearly, and this is the place we get to see each other and really catch up and connect. Mm-hmm. Joseph, how about you? Where did you see God's Spirit?
Am I allowed to say ditto?
This is not Ghost.
No, it's in the little interactions and knowing that while we may be going to places where we're on our own again, it's always a good reminder to physically see we're not actually alone. And I think one of the, from Houston, I live in a very, very, very red county. So just feeling the likeness, the same spirit, understanding that what ICE is doing is just inhumane, and being able to vocalize that, understand that, and have people say, "Yeah, you're not." That's been really a good thing.
Yeah, and to I think and to grieve together,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
Alex, would you add anything to?
I think the safety for me is a big part of it. You know, when I first heard about the E, long before I ever came, somebody said they were going to this event. And I said, well, what is it? Is it for youth? And they said, no, it's not for youth. It's like a youth gathering for youth directors. And then they're like, it's all about during the day, but it's actually about at night. But then you still get up in the morning and you show up to stuff and you participate and you'll be tired at the end, but you'll be energized. And you'll not know how you're going to make it tomorrow, but somehow you'll find a way. And I think it was just like, what? And then one time I got invited and then I was like, this is probably one of the greatest things I've ever been to. And even when I thought like, maybe my time's done, maybe, is it in the budget? Can I find it? I just was like, oh, I can't not. You know, and I think for me, that's the piece. And then it is the being able to share. And it is sometimes lament. Sometimes it really is just, oh man, I'm not having a good time in the spaces with what I'm trying to do, or I'm hitting all these walls. And yet at the same place, I'm getting told, here, you're doing great. It's going to work in some way. God's going to make something out of this. You just maybe don't see it yet. So the affirmation that comes with these 3 to 4 days is second to really nothing else.
Yeah, and I loved whenever day it was. I don't know what today is. Is it Monday?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
When Anna, you were talking about the imagine, right? Imagine what could you do with this box and what do you see? And I feel like this becomes that space where you're like, oh, okay, I'm outside of the emails and the daily things I need to do, and I do have this opportunity to imagine what's next.
Yeah.
Where's God nudging me? What could I take back, and what does that translate into my everyday world?
Because this is the opportunity to get outside of the day-to-day systems that keep us out of our imagination and into just the grind of things. And it's why I like the idea of, I hate hearing the phrase like, oh, I got to get back to the real world after you go on vacation or after you go to Disney, which I have some beef with Rick Steves about that. But anyway, point is, we don't need to get into that.
I'd like to get into it.
It's nothing major. Anyway, what I was going to say was, this is real. This is just as real as anything else. It's just that we, again, don't value these imaginative, exploratory spaces as much. So what happens when we start to see this as just as real, and what could come out of that? What new worlds, what new possibilities? And anyway, so yes. It's
that time, it's that space to breathe.
Yeah.
Right?
And we need that.
And we need that. Mm-hmm. And for folks that are listening, and then I'll let you talk, I know... Alex is like, we saw our time for the next section. If you are not here and you're listening to this, you didn't get to see Flamey Grant. And that was like a spiritual out-of-body experience. It was, right? I mean, I laughed so hard. I was like on the verge of tears. There was joy, but there was amazing guitar playing and lyric writing in her songs, and check her out.
It's for me. It's now life is before Flamey Grant and
for real. I need
after
a shirt.
Flamey Grant.
That says
BFA.
that.
I was just kept sending the next song to somebody. I was like, you need to listen to this song.
All time now is after Flamey Grant. AFG, right? Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna tattoo that right there.
Thank you.
Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
No, I think, and you asked what time it was, and I really think it's important too to recognize one of the great joys is that this extravaganza sometimes breaks into February, and it breaks into the acknowledgement that it's Black History Month. And then we bring up Krish, and she reminds us, the importance of what immigrants, refugees do in our spaces, how they teach us, and I was thinking to myself about Bishop Eaton used to say, church without walls. And I love that, but also I thought to myself, what if it's also a church without walls is the church that decorates and makes walls homey and welcoming? What if a church without walls is the one that builds up protection around those who deserve their dignity and have never not deserved it. And I wonder just kind of if there's any reactions from y'all as you kind of think about the spaces you're going back to. What do you want to take with you, both from that conversation that Chris just gave us, but also from the week? And as public theologians and presenters and Instagram people, how do you want to bring that out? And then what is something maybe that you want to bring back just for yourself?
Oh, I guess. One thing I'm walking away with is Dr. Nikki said, what was it, BK and AK, before I knew and after I know. And what happens after I know is the important thing, because knowing is not enough. Like, I know that my high cholesterol and pre-diabetic self should not be eating chicken tenders and gooey butter cake.
That's right.
Oh, delicious, though.
At 8 p.m. at night before, but here I was last night just stuffing my face with these things. So like knowing is good, but it's not enough. It's what we do with what we know. And so it was a really good reminder to knowledge is powerful, but what we do with it is even is what matters.
Did you know about gooey butter cake though before?
No, people kept talking about it.
So
and I was
that's the after you know.
Yeah.
Now you know that exists. Sorry, diabetes.
True.
Anyway. Also, Alex, are Michiganians? They love
Michiganders.
They love to say this, but you're part of this, right?
Yeah, that's actually northern Wisconsin.
Yeah, that doesn't count. I'm just kidding.
Let me bring it back down. I'm kidding.
Bring us back.
I did know about gooey butter cake, by the way, before. I don't think I've ever had it, maybe. I don't know. I've had similar things.
It's gooey and buttery.
It's delightful. I think I've had something similar. Anyway, it was. I had the strawberry one or whatever that was out yesterday. Did y'all have that? It was like a fruit. It had like a pink top. It was real cute. It was good. I love the idea of decorative walls, like protective walls around community. I think that's a really sweet and beautiful concept. And I didn't have anything till you just said that. Like, that's what I want to take. Like, I mean, really and truly, because my work is just out in the community. And so I want to take that feeling of how can I build really beautiful, protective spaces for kids. And I mean, I do that anyway in my work, but just kind of generally speaking, but I do love the idea of that. And I also was reminded with Dr. Nikki's talk, and even in my reflection afterwards about this story that I told y'all about that one family, because that was a really good check for me in the moment of how can I continually evaluate the spaces that I create for children so that they are completely and fully inclusive as best as I can. And it was just another check to say, okay, wait, I need to continually reevaluate what I'm doing even now outside of the church walls. How can I make that as open and inclusive and safe as possible for these kids? So just that check, and then just the love and encouragement that I got will 100% be fueling me for the next several months, I think. Yeah.
I love that. You said something that made, and Krish's talk reminded me of this, right? I think I recently wrote something talking about like, what can I offer, right? When you feel like the things in our country and in our world are so big and overwhelming, and you're like, I have nothing to offer. Am I going to be going out in a protest? Is that really me, or what can I offer? And there's something in seminary that we learned, and hopefully I'm saying her name correctly because I hate saying people's names wrong. Deepa Iyer has this thing called the social change framework. And check this out. Look her up. It's very cool because it gives you this this visual of there's lots of ways that we use our gifts, right? Using our church kind of language to engage in social change. And it takes the people who protest. It takes the people who tell the truth. It takes giving money. It takes creating art. Right? There's all kinds of ways for us to make a difference. And what does that look like for me? And what does that look like for you? And actually, I wrote that in my notebook. There was somebody said something and it made me write that question of, what is my role in this? What can I do from my place of privilege, and whatever that is, I can write articles for our organization because we're alongside churches and not in the church, right? That maybe you couldn't quite say from the pulpit or in youth group. But I can maybe give you a little courage by writing something or pointing to a resource, or right. So I think we all have a way, and right, how do we create those safe spaces? How do we affect the change we want to see in the world? And I just went off there, but Alex, your thoughts?
No, and I think it's the waiting piece. I think Andrew Root talks about this a lot, and
Yes.
I thought when he was speaking, I was listening to this idea of waiting's okay, but also waiting is where we prepare. And so then I started kind of saying, okay, it's okay when I don't know. It's okay when I don't have the answers. The waiting is a space that's necessary for what I'm about to do. And so then wanting to be able to say that's where you prepare. Yeah. And not to just sit and say, well, I'm not doing anything. No, you're preparing.
Yeah. I mean, you haven't been pregnant before, I'm pretty sure, right, Alex? Okay. Yeah, and right, I mean, that's months of waiting, and sometimes it's years for people. I have a lot of friends that took a long time to get pregnant. I did not have that issue, but the months of the baby growing in you, or waiting for the baby, from through your adoption process or whatever it might be, right? There's a lot of waiting in that, and it is a time of preparing, right? Your heart, your mind, your home, the rest of your people for all of that. And that waiting is holy and scriptural, right? Like Andy Root reminded us of that. That waiting is a part of our faith story.
It's also where you listen. It is the pause,
Yes.
that you're hopefully, but it is that forced pause, and that is the time to take in as much as you can as you prepare and listen to the voices around you that are being directly affected by whatever it is. And I used to talk about this all the time with parenting. Before you react, just take a minute, just pause and pay attention to what's happening, either the circumstances around your child that's causing this behavior, or to what is happening in their little bodies and their little minds. Take a minute. That pause is essential to responding in the most effective way possible. So I think in the same way, to more global concerns and issues, I think this waiting period and this pause is just as essential.
Yeah. Right. Well, I choose to be a learner or a judger, right? The judger is our reactive, you hear screaming in the other room between your children, and you're like, who did it? Who's wrong? Who's in trouble? Right? Or, okay, tell me what's going on. What did you see? Kind of understanding the situation, and being curious instead of reactive.
I'm wondering, because of the public personas that we've seen, right when I was walking in that first night, you both had little Instagram videos that were playing that were kind of introducing us to you. And I believe there are many that are out there that are also probably wondering what to post and what not to. Can you kind of describe, as we all think about taking it home, what do you do to judge this is good to give away, but this is good for me, and it's going to strengthen me for the longer journey of the work that I'm doing?
We didn't tell them this question ahead of time, so they're like, uh-oh.
I mean, I always figured if it's good for me, if it works for me, it should work for other people. So usually it's not the best barometers, but if I resonate with it, I know at least one other person is going to resonate with it. So that's what I end up posting.
Yeah, I would echo that. I think that's right. Everybody's going to get it wrong at some point. So that's just kind of part of saying things publicly, saying things out loud. One thing that my husband always tells me is, There are people looking for you. You just have to raise your hand. And so I think, especially for any Enneagram 9s out in the room, yeah, we got it. You're so loud for a 9. Good for you. Making your voice heard. Yes. But that's the point, right? Like, your voice matters. There were several of the notes for little hearts out there, words for little hearts that, to that effect. Like your voice, your words matter. And there's somebody who desperately needs to hear it. Even if it sounds like something someone else already said, there may be something about the way that you deliver that, the way that you speak it, the heart with which you say it, that is going to, like Joseph said, like resonate with someone else in a very particular way. And I just always remind myself of that. Like someone needs to hear what it is that you're thinking and feeling. So share it, because it will inevitably resonate with someone, and that might make all the difference in the world to them. Yeah.
And that's the part of ministry, I think, especially youth ministry, children's ministry with young adults. You may never know the ways that your words and your actions have mattered in people's lives, right? Sometimes never. Sometimes it's years later and you're like, oh, that's nice, I said that. And they tell you something. I have no recollection of this. Or the way that you welcomed them, and you're like, oh, well, that's just what we do, right? Like, that's how we act here. This is part of our culture. And you just don't know. The stuff that you guys do matters so much in people's lives, and regardless of the age, and that I think radiates, right, like ripples on a pond into their family, into their relationships, in the way that you've modeled that for them, right, into the world. I mean, 100%.
I have this story where this kid calls me. I'm in seminary, I'm doing youth ministry, and it's like 2 a.m, and he calls me and he's crying. And he's like, my dad is just being awful and all that stuff. And I don't remember this. He was sharing a testimony about how he became a pastor in front of the whole conference like this. And I was there, and he pointed to me, he's like, I called my pastor telling him, and it was 2 a.m. He said, bro, I can't help you right now. Call me in the morning. And he hung up on me. And I was like, I don't remember that, but that does sound like me. But he said that was a awakening moment for him, and that he realized that he can't always. There's some things that he has to set forward in motion himself. And what turned out to be a really cold response from me, he said that was the moment that really he felt his calling towards ministry. So even if you say the stupidest things, you don't know how God's going to. I do believe it was 2 a.m. What can I do when he's that? So anyway, but you don't know how you're going to affect someone, and even your embarrassing moments can lead to something great.
God was working through you, right?
I mean, are you surprised?
Right, let's give him a round of applause. Hang up on those kids. Figure it out. You should have figured it out yourself.
I didn't say that. That's what he got from it.
You kind of said it when you hung up.
Yeah.
No, I think that's perfect, though, because especially whether it is a youth talk or a sermon or a phone call at 2 a.m., whether it happened or not, the Holy Spirit is working. The Holy Spirit is alive and well, and she's doing great things. So,
can I say, at least I answered the call?
Sure, buddy. Sure, buddy. But that Holy Spirit will do something with anything. Yeah. So many people will tell me all the time, Pastor, everything happens for a reason. And I always kind of kick hard back on that. And I go, I think God can give reason in even the worst circumstance. And once that's the opportunity, then it's going, yes, somebody hung up on me, but I think he already knew that you were loving them.
Sure.
Like I believe that, because that's why I pointed at you.
Yeah.
So they didn't also perceive that the hang up was out of hate or anything like that, other than it was 2 a.m. and they also knew they probably broke into the boundaries of time and sleep and things like that. So they also heard, I bet if I call back and I say, I'm really freaking out, that you don't do it twice. You don't do it twice? Okay, maybe you don't do it 3 times.
Self-care, I need my sleep.
There you go. But I think that's so important to always give yourself that credit. thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything that you've been doing for us, leading us and teaching us. Thank you for what teaching and leading you'll do when we watch you on Instagram or when we interact with you. And when I call you at 2 a.m., you better answer.
Definitely.
I will not. My phone's on Do Not Disturb.
I hope that if you like some of this content, you'll consider thinking about the Third Tuesday conversation as something that brings in people like this to talk and converse and to think about all those little nooks and crannies of youth ministry that we're all wondering and thinking and sometimes struggling with. And again, just a big thank you for everything.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank
We're
you.
out of here. Well, what a great, fantastic extravaganza we had together. And I've just got a few announcements for you. Just a quick post-event note. It normally takes about a month, but watch your email and the network's social media channels for word of when the speaker videos are released. You may want to refresh your memory on something someone said, or use one of the videos with your congregational leadership or volunteers. Martin's List has been refreshed. We've gone in and cleaned up the look. We've done some work under the hood to make it faster and more efficient. Be sure to look there first for resources shared by your friends and colleagues. It's a great resource available to all our Plus level members for free. Thanks to all of you who are members of the network. Your membership makes possible Third Tuesday Conversation, Oasis, Connect Journal, Formation Co-op, Martin's List, Extravaganza, and much more. If you're not a Plus level network member, we encourage you to join. Our memberships are what make all of this possible. We're grateful to be a community that cares for this ministry. Thanks so much for listening. New podcasts will be released on the third Tuesday of every month. Be sure to like and subscribe so you receive them as they come out and share with your friends. And finally, thanks to Paul Amlin, the 3TC producer, for all his work. Have a great week, and we look forward to our next episode being released on, you guessed it, the third Tuesday next month. This is Alex signing off.
This is Veronica signing off.
And this is Jessica. We'll catch you next time.